3 days after the battle, the wreckage of the Vextar fleet still drifted through space near Earth. Twisted metal and organic debris stretched across millions of miles. Search and rescue teams worked carefully through the ruins, looking for survivors. Dr. Hyun-jae led the medical team aboard the human hospital ship Mercy. She had treated wounded soldiers before, but never alien prisoners of war. The few Vextar who had survived were in shock. They sat in their medical pods staring at nothing, their minds broken by what they had witnessed. "How many survivors?" Admiral Taemin asked when he visited the medical bay. 237, Dr. Hyun-jae replied. "Most of them have psychological trauma. They keep saying the same thing over and over." "What do they say?" "That humans broke the universe. That we made the impossible happen. They don't understand how we did it." Taemin nodded. "Make sure they're treated well. They'll be going home soon with a message for their empire." Dr. So-jin worked in the xenobiology lab, trying to communicate with the alien prisoners. She had studied their language for years, but the survivors barely spoke. They just sat quietly, occasionally clicking their mandibles in what seemed like prayer. When she finally got one to talk, the conversation was disturbing. "You are not natural," the alien whispered. "You break the laws that hold reality together. How do you exist without destroying everything?" "We learned to use the laws differently," So-jin explained. "The universe has rules you never discovered." "Impossible," the alien replied. "We studied physics for 1,000,000 years. We know every law, every principle. What you did cannot happen. Your science was incomplete," So-jin said gently. "You learned to use matter and energy. We learned to use space and time themselves." The alien made a sound like crying. "Then we are all doomed. If humans can reshape reality, nothing can stop you." On the 4th day, ships began arriving from all over the galaxy. The Galactic Council had heard rumors of the battle, but they needed to see the evidence with their own eyes. Representatives from dozens of species came to witness what humanity had done. Ambassador Taeho met with the alien delegates in the space station orbiting Earth. The meeting room had large windows that showed the debris field. Every delegate stared in shocked silence at the remains of the most powerful fleet in known space. "How?" asked the representative from the Clith Confederation. "The Vextar had bioships that could heal from any damage. Their weapons could destroy planets. How did 60 human ships defeat 10,000 of them?" Captain Jun Seo, now serving as humanity's military liaison, answered carefully. "We used advanced technology. Our weapons operate on principles your science hasn't discovered yet." "That's impossible," shouted the delegate from the Thorian Empire. "Our scientists have studied physics for millions of years. There are no unknown principles." Jun Seo smiled politely. "Perhaps your scientists weren't looking in the right places." President So-young addressed the Galactic Council directly. She stood before representatives of species that had ruled space for eons. Many of them had been planning their own invasions of human territory. Now they sat quietly, their conquest plans forgotten. "The Vextar Empire declared war on humanity," So-young said calmly. "They demanded our surrender. They threatened to enslave our children and destroy our worlds. We gave them every chance to reconsider." She gestured toward the debris field visible through the station's windows. "This is what happens when someone threatens the human species. We are a peaceful people, but we do not bow to tyrants." The alien delegates whispered among themselves. Some species had already sent secret messages to their homeworlds, canceling invasion fleets that had been preparing to follow the Vextar's example. Admiral Bonhua met privately with the Council's military advisors. They wanted to know about humanity's weapons, but she gave them only basic information. "Your ship seemed to violate causality itself," said the Zephyrian war chief. "Our sensors recorded attacks that traveled backward through time. Weapons that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. How is this possible?" "Trade secrets," Bonhua replied with a smile. "Humanity spent decades developing this technology. We're not ready to share it yet." "But surely you'll tell your allies," the war chief began. "When we decide who our allies are," Bonhua interrupted. "For now, we prefer to keep our capabilities private." Captain Wu Jin escorted a group of military observers through the debris field. They wanted to study the wreckage to understand how human weapons had worked. But there was almost nothing left to examine. "The bioships just vanished," said a Corvani admiral. "No explosion, no fragmentation. They simply stopped existing." "Quantum dissolution," Wu Jin explained. "The weapons alter the quantum fields that hold matter together. Very clean, very efficient. And the ships that age to dust? Temporal acceleration. We speed up time around the target until natural decay destroys it. The alien admiral shook his head. Impossible. Time cannot be weaponized. You're welcome to think that, Wujin said. Just remember what happened to the last group who underestimated human technology. Dr. Young-Soo gave a carefully prepared lecture to the Council's science advisors. He explained just enough to make them understand that humanity's weapons were real, but not enough for them to duplicate the technology. The key breakthrough came from studying dimensional interfaces, he said. Most species focus on three-dimensional physics. We learn to work in 11 dimensions simultaneously. Where did you learn this? Asked a Valdorian scientist. Such knowledge would take millions of years to develop. Actually, it took us 50 years, Young-Soo replied. Humans are very good at learning quickly when we need to. He didn't mention the Martian ruins. That secret would remain hidden until humanity decided the galaxy was ready to know about ancient technologies that could reshape reality. War leader Zethkol was brought before the Galactic Council in chains. The once proud conqueror looked broken and defeated. His empire had sent him to harvest a primitive species. Instead, he had lost everything. Tell the council what you witnessed, President So-Young said. Zethkol spoke in a quiet voice. The humans. They have weapons that break the universe. They can make ships disappear, age them to dust, tear them apart with gravity itself. My fleet was the strongest in the galaxy. They erased it in 7 minutes. You commanded 10,000 ships, said the council's military advisor. How could such a small human fleet defeat you? Small? Zethkol laughed bitterly. There is nothing small about weapons that can reshape reality. Each human ship carried enough firepower to destroy star systems. They didn't defeat us. They deleted us. The council session ended with a unanimous decision. No member species would threaten humanity. Trade agreements were offered immediately. Mutual defense pacts were proposed. The galaxy's most powerful empires lined up to become Earth's friends. Admiral Heiwan filed her final report on the battle. Enemy fleet completely neutralized. Total destruction achieved in 7 minutes and 34 seconds. Human casualties, 0. Damage to Prometheus units, minimal. All crews report ready for immediate redeployment. She paused and added a personal note. Recommendation. The Prometheus fleet should remain secret for now. Let the galaxy wonder exactly how strong humanity really is. Fear of the unknown is often more powerful than fear of the known. President So-Young made one final announcement to Earth and all human colonies. The alien threat has been eliminated. Our worlds are safe. Our children are protected. The galaxy now knows that threatening humanity is a mistake no one makes twice. On Earth, children looked up at the night sky without fear. The stars were a little safer now, protected by guardians who had proven they could turn the impossible into reality. Throughout the galaxy, other species revised their estimates of human power. Some sent diplomatic missions. Others quietly canceled invasion plans. A few began preparing desperate defenses against enemies who could reshape the laws of physics themselves. The message was clear. Humanity had evolved beyond the limitations that bound other species. They had learned to break the rules that governed reality itself. Anyone who threatened them would discover that the universe itself could become humanity's weapon. In the depths of space, Captain Ha Young commanded the UES Nemesis as it patrolled the outer systems. Her ship remained invisible, a ghost watching over human territory. If new threats appeared, they would face the same fate as the Vextar fleet. Humanity had made its point. Now the galaxy would live with the consequences of learning what humans could do when they decided to fight. War leader Zethkol felt something he had never experienced before in his long career of conquest. Fear, pure, cold terror ran through his body as he watched his mighty fleet being destroyed by weapons that should not exist. All ships, emergency retreat, he screamed into his communicator. Fall back to the hyperspace jump point. But when his bioships tried to enter hyperspace, nothing happened. The space around them had been locked down by human technology. The escape route that had saved his fleet a dozen times before was gone. Hyperspace is not responding, his navigation officer reported. The alien's voice shook with panic. Something is blocking our engines. Commander Hyunwoo of the UES Inevitability smiled coldly as he monitored the hyperspace inhibitor field. The massive weapon created a bubble of altered space-time that trapped everything inside. No ship could escape faster than light while the field was active. Trap is secure, he reported to Admiral Haywan. "The alien fleet is going nowhere." Captain Mi-kyung coordinated the human attack with deadly precision. Her tactical display showed every alien ship, every weapon, every weak point. The human fleet moved like dancers in a perfectly choreographed performance of destruction. "Sector 7 is clear," reported Commander Yu-jin, as her temporal weapons aged another group of bioships to dust. "Moving to Sector 8. Confirmed," Mi-kyung replied. "Captain Sunmi, deploy gravity mines in their path. Cut off their retreat." "Deploying now," Sunmi answered. Invisible mines appeared throughout space, each one a tiny black hole waiting to tear apart anything that came too close. The alien bioships tried to fight back, but their weapons could not hurt enemies that existed in folded spacetime. Plasma beams that could melt asteroids passed harmlessly through human vessels. Missiles that carried enough explosive power to level cities struck shields that converted the attacks into energy for human weapons. Lieutenant Chang Min fired his phase cannons again and again. Each shot existed in multiple dimensions at once, passing through alien armor as if it were made of air. The bioship's healing systems could not repair damage that came from attacks their builders had never imagined. Dr. Junho monitored the exotic matter reactions aboard the human command ship. The weapons drew power from the space between dimensions. As long as reality existed, humanity's arsenal would never run out of ammunition. "All quantum field generators operating at peak efficiency," he reported. "Exotic matter containment is stable. We can maintain this level of firepower indefinitely." "Excellent," Admiral Haywan replied. "Continue the systematic destruction. Leave no ship capable of carrying word back to their empire." Captain Tae-young's temporal accelerator fired again. This time, the weapon created a field of accelerated time around the alien flagship. In seconds, the massive bioship aged 1,000,000 years. Its living hull withered and died. Its weapons crumbled to ancient dust. The pride of the Vextar fleet became a dead hulk drifting in space. Sethkol felt his ship dying around him. The bridge began to collapse as the biovessel's living systems failed. Emergency lights flickered and went out. The breathing walls stopped moving. His mighty flagship had become a tomb. "Transfer to the backup command ship," he ordered his surviving officers, but there was nowhere to run. Captain Ha-young's ship appeared next to the backup vessel like a ghost materializing from thin air. Her quantum weapons fired once. The bioship simply vanished, erased from existence as if it had never been built. Engineer Kyung-hee monitored the human fleet's performance from her engine room. The exotic drive systems worked perfectly, allowing the ships to appear anywhere in the battle zone instantly. The aliens could not predict where the next attack would come from. "All ships report perfect engine performance," she told her captain. "We can maintain phase shifting indefinitely." The systematic destruction continued. Human ships appeared, fired their impossible weapons, and vanished before the aliens could respond. Each attack deleted entire sections of the enemy fleet from reality. Bioships that had conquered worlds died without leaving debris behind. Commander Boram used her stealth systems to appear in the middle of alien formations. Her gravity weapons created expanding fields of twisted space-time that pulled bioships apart at the molecular level. She struck and vanished like a nightmare that could not be fought. The alien fleet tried every tactic they knew. They spread out to minimize damage. They concentrated their fire on single targets. They attempted ramming attacks. Nothing worked. The human ships moved through space like living mathematics, calculating and executing the perfect destruction of everything that threatened Earth. Captain Wu Jin had been watching the battle from his spy ship. He had studied alien tactics for months, learning their weaknesses. Now he guided human strikes to the most vulnerable points in their formation. "Enemy command structure is collapsing," he reported. "Their fleet coordination is breaking down. Individual ships are operating independently now." "Perfect," Admiral Haywan responded. "Begin Phase 2. Hunt down every remaining vessel." The human fleet split into smaller groups. Each group targeted isolated alien ships with overwhelming firepower. There was no escape, no mercy, no hope for the invaders. They had come to harvest humanity. Instead, they had found their own extinction. War leader Zethkol managed to transfer to another ship, but it provided no safety. Commander Sungmin's quantum weapons found him again. The new vessel simply ceased to exist, taking half of Zethkol's remaining officers with it. "This is impossible," Zethkol screamed at the universe. "No species can control reality itself. It violates every law of physics." But the evidence surrounded him, space filled with the wreckage of bioships that had been aged to dust, deleted from existence or torn apart by gravity weapons. In 7 minutes, 10,000 vessels had been reduced to expanding clouds of debris. President So-young watched the battle from Earth's command center. Admiral Subin stood beside her, reading reports from the fleet commanders. The alien invasion was being destroyed so completely that future archaeologists would find no trace of it. Estimated enemy losses? So-young asked. 96%, Subin replied. The remaining ships are scattered and helpless. They pose no threat to anyone. And our losses? 0 casualties. Minor damage to 3 Prometheus units. All crews report ready for continued operations, so Young nodded with satisfaction. Signal Admiral Haywan. Tell her to leave some survivors. I want the galaxy to know what happens when someone threatens humanity. In space, the final phase of the battle began. The last few hundred alien ships drifted helplessly through the debris of their fleet. Their weapons were gone. Their engines were dead. Their crews were paralyzed by terror and confusion. Admiral Taman's voice reached every surviving alien vessel. His image appeared on screens throughout what remained of the Vextar fleet. He stood calmly on his bridge, surrounded by displays showing the complete destruction of the invaders. War leader Zethkol, Taman said politely, your fleet came here to harvest humanity. Instead, you have discovered what happens when a species learns to reshape reality itself. Zethkol stared at the human admiral from his crippled command ship. Around him, the bridge crew, what was left of it, cowered in terror. They had seen their mighty empire's greatest fleet erased from existence in minutes. You offered us a choice, Taman continued. Serve or die. Now we offer you the same choice. Surrender and live as prisoners. Or continue fighting and join your fleet in oblivion. The war leader looked around at the ruins of his armada. 10,000 ships reduced to scattered wreckage. Weapons that could crack planets. Useless against enemies who fought with the power of gods themselves. For the first time in his life, Zethkol chose surrender. The battle began exactly as war leader Zethkol expected. His bioships unleashed waves of plasma fire that lit up space like green lightning. The beams struck the human fleet with devastating force. Ship after ship exploded in brilliant flashes of light and metal. Captain Jinwoo gripped his command chair as his ship shook from enemy fire. Sparks flew from damaged systems. His crew worked frantically to keep the ship fighting. Around him, other human vessels burned and died under the alien assault. Hull breach on Deck 7, his damage control officer shouted. We're losing atmosphere. Keep fighting, Jinwoo ordered. Make it look good. His ship was built to survive this beating. Hidden armor and backup systems would keep it alive long enough to play its part. But to the aliens, it looked like humanity's best warship was being torn apart. Zethkol watched the slaughter with satisfaction. Human ships exploded one after another. Their weapons barely scratched his bio-vessel's living armor. Their shields collapsed under his plasma bombardment. Too easy, he said to his officers. Signal the harvest ships. Begin landing operations on their colonies. This battle will be over in minutes. But as he spoke, something strange happened. Space itself began to shimmer near his fleet. Reality rippled like water in a pond. Sensors that had worked perfectly for centuries started showing impossible readings. What is that? His tactical officer asked, staring at displays that made no sense. Before Zethkol could answer, 40 human ships appeared from nowhere. They materialized in the middle of his fleet, as if they had been hiding inside folded space. These ships looked nothing like the burning hulks they had been fighting. Each vessel was sleek and beautiful. Strange patterns covered their hulls, patterns that hurt to look at directly. Energy flowed through the patterns like living light. The ships moved without using visible engines, gliding through space as if the laws of physics did not apply to them. Captain Ha Young stood on the bridge of the UES Nemesis. Her ship had just phased into normal space-time from 7 dimensions at once. Around her, displays showed the alien fleet in perfect detail. Every ship, every weapon, every weakness. All Prometheus units are in position, she reported to Admiral Haywan. Ready to engage on your command. Fire, Haywan said simply. What happened next broke every rule of space combat that the aliens knew. The human ships did not fire beams or missiles. Instead, they used weapons that attacked reality itself. Commander Sungmin's ship fired first. A quantum field generator created a localized collapse of space-time. The target, a massive alien dreadnought, simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed, not vaporized, erased from reality as if it had never been built. Zethkul stared in shock as one of his largest ships vanished without a trace. No explosion, no debris. 1 second it was there, the next second empty space remained. Impossible, he screamed. Nothing can do that. But more human ships were firing now. Captain Tae-young activated his temporal accelerator. The weapon aged a cluster of enemy vessels 10,000 years in microseconds. The alien bioships withered and died as time itself became their enemy. In seconds, they crumbled to ancient dust. Commander Boram appeared behind the alien formation like a ghost. Her ship had traveled through folded space, arriving exactly where the enemy least expected. Her gravity weapons created miniature black holes that pulled bioships apart atom by atom. The aliens tried to fight back, but their weapons could not touch ships that existed in multiple dimensions. Plasma beams passed through the human vessels as if they were ghosts. Missiles exploded harmlessly against shields that converted matter directly into energy. Dr. Jun-ho monitored the exotic matter systems aboard the command ship. The battle was going perfectly. Every impossible weapon worked exactly as designed. Quantum field generators at full power, he reported to Admiral Haewon. Reality anchors holding steady. No dimensional bleed-through detected. Excellent, Haewon replied. Continue the attack. Captain Sunmi deployed her gravity mines throughout the alien fleet. Each mine created a gravity well so strong that space-time curved around it. Bioships were stretched and torn as they fell into gravitational fields that should not exist. Lieutenant Chang-min fired projectiles that existed in 11 dimensions at once. They phased through shields and armor as if the barriers were not there. When they struck the bioship's vital systems, the damage was instant and complete. Zethkul tried desperately to understand what was happening. His fleet had faced every known weapon in the galaxy. They had fought races with advanced technology, but nothing had prepared them for enemies who could break the fundamental laws of physics. All ships, concentrate fire on the nearest human vessel, he ordered. 1,000 plasma beams struck Captain Eugen's ship at once. The energy should have vaporized any known material. Instead, the beams were absorbed by shields that existed in folded space. The ship converted the attack energy into power for its own weapons. Eugen smiled as her temporal weapon charged. Thank you for the energy boost, she said quietly. Then she fired. The temporal field surrounded a section of the alien fleet. Time slowed to a crawl around 50 bioships. They moved like insects trapped in honey while human weapons cut them apart with casual precision. Engineer Kyung-hee monitored the exotic engines throughout the human fleet. The ships moved through space by folding reality around themselves. They could appear anywhere instantly, strike without warning, and vanish before the enemy could respond. All Prometheus units report green status, she told Admiral Haewon. Engines are performing perfectly. We can maintain this pace indefinitely. The alien fleet began to break apart. Ships that had conquered 47 civilizations fled in panic from enemies they could not understand. Their weapons were useless. Their armor provided no protection. Their tactics meant nothing against foes who could rewrite the rules of combat. Commander Hyunwoo activated the hyperspace inhibitor field. The weapon locked down faster than light travel in a sphere of space encompassing the entire battle zone. Suddenly, the fleeing alien ships found themselves trapped. No escape, Hyunwoo said with cold satisfaction. You wanted to fight humanity. Now you get to see what we're really capable of. Captain Mi Kyung coordinated the human fleet with perfect precision. Each ship moved in harmony with the others. They fought like a single organism with 40 deadly limbs. The aliens had never seen such coordination, such unity of purpose. War leader Zethkul watched his mighty fleet being systematically destroyed by impossible weapons. Ships that had never known defeat died by the hundreds. Biovessels that could heal from any damage crumbled before attacks that deleted them from existence. This cannot be happening, he raged. They're just humans. Primitive animals. But the evidence filled his screens. In less than 5 minutes, half his fleet was gone. The other half was trapped, helpless against enemies who fought with the power of gods. Admiral Tae-min materialized on the main communication channel. His image appeared on every alien ship still capable of receiving signals. He stood calmly on his bridge, surrounded by displays showing the destruction of the Vextar fleet. War leader Zethkul, Tae-min said in a polite voice, you offered humanity a choice. Serve or die. We have decided to offer you the same courtesy. Zethkul stared at the human admiral. Around them, space filled with the wreckage of the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. In minutes, creatures he had thought were primitives had proven they could reshape reality itself. The aliens were about to learn that underestimating humanity was always a fatal mistake. Space twisted and tore open at the edge of the solar system. 10,000 alien ships poured through the rip in reality like angry wasps from a broken nest. Each bioship pulsed with dark energy. Strange lights ran along their living hulls. The largest vessels looked like floating cities covered in weapons and teeth. War leader Zethkul stood in the command center of his flagship. The ship was 3 miles long and carried enough firepower to crack planets. Around him, his officers worked at stations that grew from the floor like twisted trees. Everything in the ship was alive. The walls breathed. The controls moved under his claws like skin. "Report," Zethkul ordered. "All ships have arrived safely," his tactical officer replied. "No damage from the hyperspace jump. The human fleet is exactly where our spies said it would be." Zethkul looked at the main display. It showed the human fleet waiting near Earth, only 60 ships. They looked tiny compared to his massive bio-vessels. Most were old cruisers and destroyers, nothing that could threaten his empire. Pathetic, Zethkul clicked his mandibles in amusement. These humans learned nothing from our warning. They think their toy ships can fight us. His communications officer spoke up. "Sir, we are receiving a message from Earth." "Put it on the main screen," Zethkul ordered. "Let me see their leader beg for mercy." The display changed to show a human woman standing in what looked like a government building. She wore a simple dark suit. Her face was calm and serious. Behind her stood military officers in neat uniforms. President So Young looked directly at the camera. She knew the aliens were watching. Her voice was clear and strong. "People of Earth and all human colonies," she began. "Today an alien empire has come to our home. They believe we are weak because we choose peace over conquest. They think we are easy prey because we help each other instead of fighting." General Dong Hyun and Admiral Subin stood behind her. Their faces showed no fear. Around the room, other government leaders watched calmly. "These aliens have destroyed 47 civilizations," So Young continued. "They turn conquered peoples into slaves. They take children from their families. They think strength comes from causing pain and fear." Zethkul laughed. "Listen to her. She talks like her little fleet can stop us. Humans are so stupid." But So Young was not finished talking. "The aliens are about to learn something important about humanity. We are the children of survivors. Our ancestors lived through ice ages that killed most life on Earth. They survived plagues that destroyed entire civilizations. They built homes in deserts and cities on frozen mountains." Her voice grew stronger. "We are the species that turned wolves into loyal dogs. We split atoms and walked on our moon. We reached for the stars because we refused to accept limits." The president stepped closer to the camera. "Today these aliens will discover what humans do to those who threaten our children. They will learn why Earth's predators became our pets, and why the universe itself bends to human will when we decide to fight." The message ended. Zethkul stared at the blank screen. Then he threw back his head and made the clicking sound that passed for laughter among his kind. "Brave words from a doomed species," he said. "Begin the attack formation. Destroy their fleet quickly. I want to start harvesting their colonies before the day ends." In space near Earth, Captain Jinwoo stood on the bridge of the UES Sovereignty. His ship was humanity's most visible warship. It looked impressive with its thick armor and large weapons, but Jinwoo knew it was just for show. His real job was to make the aliens think they were fighting humanity's best. "Enemy fleet is moving into attack position," his tactical officer reported. "They're bringing everything forward. No reserves, no caution." "Perfect," Jinwoo said quietly. "They think this will be easy." Far away, invisible to all sensors, the real human fleet waited. 40 ships hung in folded space, ready to appear anywhere in seconds. Each ship was small enough to land on a football field, but carried weapons that could reshape reality. Captain Ha Young commanded the UES Nemesis. Her ship existed in 7 dimensions at once. It could attack from angles that should not exist. She watched the alien fleet through sensors that could see through time itself. "All Prometheus units report ready," she told Admiral Haewon on the command ship. "We can begin the attack on your signal." "Wait," Haewon replied. "Let them show their strength first. I want them confident when we reveal the truth." Commander Sungmin prepared his quantum weapons. These could tear holes in space-time itself. When fired, They would delete everything in their path from existence, not destroy it, erase it completely. Quantum field generator is stable, his science officer reported. Reality anchor is holding position. We can fire without affecting local spacetime. Good, Sung Min said. When we hit them, I want it to look like magic. The alien fleet moved closer to Earth. Their bioships spread out in a formation designed to surround and destroy. Zethkul had used this tactic 47 times before. It had never failed. Human fleet is moving to intercept, his tactical officer reported. They're forming a standard battle line. Of course they are, Zethkul said. They fight like every other primitive race. No imagination, no creativity, just straight lines and simple tactics. But deep in space, Commander Kyung Min of the UES Prometheus spoke quietly into his communicator. All shadow units, this is actual command. Enemy fleet is in position. Prepare for phase transition on my mark. The alien ships continued forward. Their plasma weapons charged. Their bio-armor strengthened. Every system prepared for the easy victory they expected. Captain Tae-young checked his temporal weapons one last time. These could freeze enemy ships in time or age them to dust in seconds. He had trained for 20 years to use technology that seemed impossible. Temporal field is ready, his chronometer officer said. We can slow their entire fleet to a crawl. Excellent, Tae-young replied. Let's show them what happens when time itself becomes a weapon. Commander Bo-ram activated her ship's stealth systems. The UES Phantom could appear behind enemy lines without warning. Its surprise attacks would seem like the universe itself was fighting against the aliens. Stealth field is perfect, her engineer confirmed. Even gravity can't find us now. Perfect, Bo-ram said. Time to become a ghost story. The alien fleet was almost in firing range. Zethkul prepared to give the order to attack. He expected the battle to last maybe 10 minutes. Then his ships would land on Earth and begin the harvest. He had no idea that he was about to face an enemy that had learned to break the laws of physics themselves. In moments, his confidence would become terror. His certainty would become confusion. The aliens were about to discover that threatening humanity was the last mistake they would ever make. All ships, prepare to fire, Zethkul commanded. In folded space, Admiral Haewan gave her own order. All Prometheus units, weapons free in 10 seconds. Show them what humans can do. The real battle was about to begin. Dr. Young-soo walked into the secret meeting room deep under Luna Base. The room had no windows. Thick metal walls kept all sounds inside. Around a large table sat the most important military leaders in human space. Fleet Admiral Bonhua sat at the head of the table. Her uniform showed medals from many battles, but none of those battles had been like this. Strategic Commander Yoonji sat next to her, reading reports on a tablet. Captain Wu Jin had just returned from watching the alien fleet. His ship was still covered in dust from deep space. Show them what we found, Bonhua said to Young-soo. Young-soo touched a button. The air above the table filled with images. They showed the alien ships in detail. Each ship looked like a living creature. Dark shells covered weapons that glowed with energy. Strange growths on the sides moved like they were breathing. The enemy calls their ships biovessels, Young-soo explained. They grow them instead of building them. Each ship is part machine, part animal. They heal themselves when damaged. They can live in space without air or fuel for years. Commander Yoonji pointed at the largest ship. That one is 3 miles long. Our scouts counted over 1,000 weapons on it. Their shields are strong too, Wu Jin added. I watched them test their weapons on an asteroid. They turned a mountain into dust in seconds. The room became quiet. Everyone stared at the images. The alien fleet was bigger and stronger than anything humanity had ever faced. Young-soo smiled. But they have one big problem. They think like every other race in the galaxy. They use normal physics, normal energy, normal weapons. He touched another button. New images appeared. These showed human ships, but they looked different from the ones in the regular fleet. They were smaller and sleeker. Strange patterns covered their hulls. Energy flowed through the patterns like living light. For 50 years we have been preparing for this day, Young-soo continued. When we found the ruins on Mars, we discovered something amazing. The builders of those ruins had learned to break the normal rules of space and time. Bonhua stood up. Tell them about the weapons. Young-soo nodded. Our new ships carry quantum field generators. They can make holes in space itself. Reality anchors let us exist in folded dimensions. Temporal accelerators can speed up or slow down time around our targets. Captain Wu Jin leaned forward. You mean we can actually do impossible things? Not impossible, Young-Soo said. Just very, very advanced. The Martian builders left us their technology. We spent decades learning how to use it. Engineer Kyung-hee entered the room. She had been working on the secret ships for years. Her hands were dirty from working on engines that used principles most scientists said could not exist. All 40 Prometheus ships are ready, she reported. Quantum drives are stable. Weapon systems are charged. Crews have finished their training. 40 ships against 10,000, Yoonji said. Are you sure that's enough? Young-Soo's smile grew bigger. One of our ships could destroy their entire fleet. We're bringing 40 just to be safe. Across the solar system, humanity's real fleet prepared for battle. These ships had been hidden for decades. Most people in the government did not know they existed. Even most military officers had never seen them. Captain Tae-young stood on the bridge of the UES Retribution. His ship looked normal from the outside, but inside, it held technology that could reshape reality. His crew had trained for years to use weapons that worked in ways that seemed like magic. All stations report ready, his tactical officer said. Good, Tae-young replied. Remember, we stay hidden until the Admiral gives the signal. Let the regular fleet make the aliens think they're winning. In another part of space, Commander Boram checked her ship's stealth systems. The UES Phantom could become invisible to all known sensors. It could appear anywhere in seconds by folding space around itself. Stealth field is perfect, her engineer reported. Even our own ships can't see us. Excellent, Boram said. The aliens won't know what hit them. Dr. Junho worked in the science section of the command ship. His job was to monitor the exotic matter that powered humanity's new weapons. The matter came from between dimensions. It could do things that normal matter could not. Exotic matter containment is stable, he told Admiral Haewon. All quantum field generators are ready to fire. How long can we maintain full power? Haewon asked. Long enough to end this war, Junho replied. Back in the meeting room, Young-Soo showed more images. These were from the Martian ruins. Strange symbols covered walls made of unknown metal. Machines that still worked after millions of years sat in underground chambers. The Martian builders were like us once, Young-Soo explained. They started with normal technology, but they learned to go beyond the limits of physics. They became so advanced that they could reshape reality with their thoughts. What happened to them? Wu Jin asked. We don't know, Young-Soo admitted. They left their ruins and disappeared. Maybe they went to another dimension. Maybe they became pure energy. But they left their technology for us to find. Bonhua touched the table. The aliens think they're fighting primitive humans. They have no idea what we've become. The meeting ended. The officers left to return to their ships. In a few hours, the alien fleet would arrive. Humanity's regular fleet would meet them in battle. The aliens would think they were winning easily. Then the real fleet would show them how wrong they were. Commander Yu Jin prepared her ship's temporal weapons. These could age enemy ships thousands of years in seconds, or they could slow down time around targets, making them easy to destroy. Temporal field generators are ready, her science officer reported. Good, Yu Jin said. Time to show the aliens what happens when they threaten humanity. Captain Sunmi checked her gravity weapons. These could create tiny black holes that would pull enemy ships apart, or they could make gravity waves that would crush anything in their path. Gravity field is stable, her engineer said. We can create a black hole on your command. Excellent, Sunmi replied. The aliens are about to learn about human science. Lieutenant Chang Min loaded his phase weapons. These could shoot through shields and armor as if they were not there. The shots existed in multiple dimensions at once, making them impossible to stop. Phase cannon is ready to fire, his weapons officer said. Perfect, Chang Min said. Let's give the aliens a physics lesson they'll never forget. On Earth, President So-young spoke to the world leaders. The alien fleet would arrive soon. People were scared. They had seen the size of the enemy force. Tell the people to have faith, So-young said. Humanity has survived ice ages, plagues, and world wars. We've always found a way to win when everything seemed hopeless. General Dong Hyun nodded. Should we show them the Prometheus ships? Not yet, So-young replied. Let the aliens reveal their strength first. Then we'll show them ours. The alien fleet was only hours away. Soon, war leader Zethkul would learn that threatening humanity was the biggest mistake his empire had ever made. Admiral Tae-min stood on the bridge of humanity's largest warship. The metal floor hummed beneath his boots as the ship moved through space. Around him, his crew worked at their stations. The stars outside looked calm and peaceful, but that was about to change. Captain Da-un walked up to him. Her face looked worried. "Sir, we have an incoming message. It's from an unknown ship." "Put it on the main screen," Tae-min said. The air in front of them shimmered. A hologram appeared. It showed a creature that made everyone on the bridge step back. The alien stood 8 feet tall. Its body looked like a giant insect. 6 legs held up a black shell that gleamed like metal. 4 arms ended in sharp claws. Its head had large eyes that looked like broken glass. When it opened its mouth, rows of needle-like teeth showed. "I am War Leader Zethkol of the Vextar Empire," the creature said. Its voice sounded like breaking glass. "You humans have 7 of your days to give up your colonies. We own 47 star systems now. Your people will work in our mines or we will kill every one of you." Commander Minho stood next to Da-un. His hand moved to his weapon, but he did not draw it. Around the bridge, other crew members did the same. Officer Hyejin at the weapons station kept her face calm. Communications Officer Jae-sung recorded everything. The alien continued talking. "We have studied your kind. You are weak. You fight each other instead of growing strong. Your ships are slow. Your weapons are simple. We have crushed races far stronger than you." Admiral Tae-min stepped forward. His voice stayed calm and polite. "Thank you for your message. We have heard what you want, but humanity must say no to your offer." The alien's eyes grew bright with anger. "Then you choose death. Our fleet has 10,000 ships. They will reach your homeworld in 2 days. We will take everything you have. Your children will serve us. Your old people will die. Your soldiers will become food." The creature leaned closer to the camera. "You cannot hide. You cannot run. We have found every world where humans live. Soon your kind will exist only to serve the Vextar." The hologram disappeared. The bridge became quiet. Then everyone started talking at once. 10,000 ships? Minho said. "Our scouts only counted 8,000. "They're probably lying to scare us," Da-un replied. "But even 8,000 is too many." Tae-min raised his hand. Everyone stopped talking. Hyejin sent a message to Earth Command. "Tell them the aliens have declared war. Minho, get me a connection to Admiral Bonhua on Luna Base." "Yes, sir," both officers said. Jae-sung looked up from his station. "Admiral, should I send word to the colonies? People will want to know." "Not yet," Tae-min said. "Let's talk to Earth first." The main screen changed to show another ship. Admiral Bonhua appeared. She was older than Tae-min, with gray hair and sharp eyes. Behind her, other officers moved around a large room filled with computers and displays. "I saw the message," Bonhua said. "The aliens think they can scare us into giving up." "What are your orders?" Tae-min asked. Bonhua smiled, but it was not a happy smile. "Send this message to all fleet commanders. Tell them it's time for the Prometheus Protocol." Da-un and Minho looked at each other. They had heard that name before, but no one knew what it meant. "It was one of Earth's most secret projects. Are you sure?" Tae-min asked. "Once we start, there's no going back." "I'm sure," Bonhua said. "The aliens want to see how strong humanity really is. Let's show them." The connection ended. Tae-min turned to his crew. "You heard the Admiral. Send the Prometheus signal to all ships." Jae-sung's fingers moved over his controls. "Signal sent, sir." Across human space, the message reached every ship and base. In secret rooms that few people knew about, ancient machines began to wake up. On Mars and underground cities, lights began to glow. On the moons of Jupiter, doors that had been closed for 50 years started to open. Dr. Young-soo sat in his laboratory deep under Luna Base. He had been waiting for this day for 20 years. Around him, displays showed the approaching alien fleet. Each ship was huge and covered with weapons. But Young-soo was not afraid. He picked up his communicator. "This is Research Division 7. Begin activation of all Prometheus units. Authorization Young-soo Alpha 7. Across the solar system, humanity's real fleet began to move. These ships were not like the ones the aliens had seen. They were smaller, faster, and built with technology that should not exist. Each ship could do things that broke the normal laws of science. Captain Wu Jin commanded one of humanity's spy ships. For months he had watched the alien fleet from far away. He had seen how they fought, how they moved, how they thought. The aliens were strong, but they followed the same rules as everyone else. They used normal engines, normal weapons, normal shields. Humanity had learned different rules. Engineer Kyung-hee worked in the engine room of the UES Prometheus. The ship's power source was not like anything other races used. It pulled energy from space itself. The weapons could reach through shields as if they were not there. The engines could move the ship through folded space. "All systems show green," she reported to the bridge. "We're ready for battle." Captain Ha-Young sat in the command chair. Her ship was invisible to normal sensors. It could appear anywhere, strike, and disappear again. Around her, other secret ships waited for orders. "Remember," Ha-Young told her crew, "the aliens think we're weak. Let's keep it that way until the right moment." Back on Earth, President So-Young stood in the government's war room. General Dong-Hyun and Admiral Subin stood with her. On the walls, screens showed the alien fleet getting closer. "The people are scared," So-Young said. "They see the news reports. They know what's coming. Should we tell them about Prometheus?" Dong-Hyun asked. "Not yet," So-Young replied. "Let the aliens think they're winning. It will make their defeat even more complete." In space, the alien fleet continued its journey toward Earth. War leader Zethkol stood in his command center. His ship was the largest in the fleet. It carried enough weapons to destroy planets. "The humans are fools," he told his officers. "They could have served us and lived. Now they will all die." But deep in space, invisible ships moved into position. Humanity's secret weapons powered up. The trap was almost ready. The aliens had no idea what was waiting for them.